With prices of pretty much everything increasing recently, it's no surprise that sneakers have been getting more expensive too. And that's why I was shocked to find these insanely good sneakers for such a low price. Starting with the Nike Pegasus 39. This is not only a great affordable sneaker, but it's also one of the most comfortable I've ever tried on. They find the perfect balance of being made for running, but are great for everyday wear. With a bunch of different colorways to choose from, and one of my favorite things about them is the fact that they also have wider versions, meaning they're made with a slightly wider toe box, so almost anybody can wear these and be super cozy. Usually you can find pairs for under $100 because Nike and other retailers chuck them on sale all the time. If you want an ultra steal, go for the Pegasus 38s, which are the previous version. You can get those for as low as $70. Now, a sneaker that's been dominating in the affordable category for a long time now is the Adidas Forum, a retro basketball sneaker that you can get in both a high and a low version. You can find either of these options for as low as $80 in some colorways. There's a lot of different options when it comes to the Adidas Forum. You can get slightly more premium versions and aged ones and even an M&M one. Something that I've always appreciated about the Adidas Forum is the fact that you're getting pretty premium materials at a low price. Most come with nice feeling suede or leather, which elevates the sneaker to look and feel more premium. So these are definitely still a great option for a sneaker that's under $100 here in 2023. Right, next up we've got the Puma Effect. And this is basically just the Puma RSX sneaker that was massively popular a couple years ago, just in a slightly updated version. These are pretty new and honestly one of the best looking sneakers in this price range. They come with pretty decent materials like leather and suede, which you wouldn't normally expect to find on a pair of sneakers of this price category. Now, depending on what colorway you want, you should be able to find the Puma Effect well under $100, but some of the more premium versions are slightly more expensive at $130, which in my opinion is still a pretty good deal for this pair of sneakers. Now, one of my favorite New Balance sneakers for the past 2 to 3 years is the New Balance 5740. It takes the classic and iconic New Balance 574 model and flips it into a more modern and comfortable version. There's so many different colorways to choose from with this pair of shoes, and there's even some collaborations because of how massively popular this pair of shoes is. Usually pairs are made with really solid materials like leather and suede, which feels great in hand. The cushioning also feels really good underfoot, making them a great all-day sneaker. Now, you can find these for under $100 at plenty of different retailers. However, if you're after some of the collaborations or more limited versions, then you may end up paying a little bit more. These are an insanely comfortable option which still holds up in 2023. Speaking of taking a classic with a modern twist, next up is the Nike Blazer Jumbo. Now, personally, I prefer the low-cut version, but you can also find the highs for under $100. These are nothing revolutionary in terms of new cushioning or new technology. You do get that iconic look of the Nike Blazer, obviously with having the twist of a giant Nike swoosh. I've got to be honest, this jumbo swoosh does actually change the look of these sneakers pretty dramatically. Also, the interesting and slightly funny change up that they did on the high version, making it easier to get your foot in by having this elastic band around the back of the sneaker. And they obviously did this because it's practically become a meme at this point that Blazers are typically very hard to get your feet into. There's a bunch of different colorways to choose from, and the Nike Blazer in general is a really easy one to style. These are definitely a great all-rounder. Now, Adidas is a brand that has some of the most impressive sneakers for an affordable price, and that is incredibly true for the new Adidas ZX22 Boost. If I handed someone this sneaker and didn't tell them the price tag, I don't think anyone would guess it'd be this low. They have Boost, which is a cushioning that is normally reserved for Adidas's more expensive sneakers like the Ultra Boost. I will say that the upper isn't anything incredible, but you do still find elements of suede, and generally speaking, it feels well made and relatively good. You can grab this pair of shoes for well under $100. Even on Adidas's website, you can find pairs for $70 to $80. Also want to include the Adidas Osnova as a secondary option to this pair of shoes, but a lot of the same benefits that come with the Adidas ZX22 except for Boost. They're still incredibly comfortable and a great deal at that price range. However, they are slightly more expensive than the ZX22. Just wanted to kind of throw that one in there. Next up, we are back at New Balance for their latest model, the 610. Latest models as in New Balance brought this pair back from the early 2000s. It was originally a trail running sneaker, but now has a lifestyle spin on it. Personally, I think this sneaker looks great on foot. And for the price, you're getting pretty impressive materials with suede covering the upper on this sneaker. At the moment, these are a little bit harder to find for under $100 because they are so new. You do a little bit of shopping around, some other retailers have these for $100 or less. However, on New Balance's website, they are only $110. So if you wanted just that little bit extra, this is a great option. This next one really seemed to come out of nowhere. One of Adidas's latest models, the Adidas Adi 2000. This is a sneaker that very clearly fits in with what's trending right now in terms of sneaker design. Adidas decided to merge inspirations when creating this pair of sneakers. It's part basketball DNA and skateboarding, and they combine these both into a very trendy Y2K design. And in my opinion, I think they look good. I actually just did a collaboration with Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they included a rare collectible card inside, and they sold out instantly. Now the sneaker itself, while not being the most comfortable on this list, is still pretty solid considering it's a retro basketball design. And in terms of materials, I'm a big fan of this suede that covers the upper. It actually feels really soft to touch. Now, most colorways of the Adi 2000 you can find for well under $100. This exact one that I have is actually $88 right now. However, you can find some of the other ones for as low as $66. Obviously, the sold out Yu-Gi-Oh! Pair is much more expensive, and I assume future collaborations will follow a similar line. Alright, so this next one I was so impressed with that I actually wanted to put it number 1. But to show you how good number 1 is gonna be, the Reebok Zig Connecticut 2.5 Edge. I think if this sneaker wasn't so popular that it's actually hard to find some colorways and sizes in stock, it'd probably be my favorite pick out of the bunch for the value of money you're getting with this pair of shoes. It's got a thermal lining to keep your feet warm, and a Vibram all-terrain outsole to give you grip. Also got a super comfortable midsole, which suspiciously looks like Adidas Boost, but I won't question that. Reebok calls this midsole cushioning float ride fuel. The upper is made from leather and suede, which feels pretty soft to touch and pretty premium. Now, these are definitely a more rugged and trail-inspired pair of shoes, which is kind of perfect for this time of year. You can also get the regular version, which is a little bit more of a normal sneaker and not so much trail-inspired. These, like I said, may be a little bit harder to find, but you can definitely find some colorways under $100. Even on Reebok's website, you can find some colorways for a fraction above that $100 at $105. I'm a big fan of these, and I think they've got great value for that price point. And I saved top spot for a sneaker that is probably the most affordable on this list. It's the AdidasADI Foam STLN. I will say that most of the other Adi foam sneakers that Adidas has released has ended up being a little bit more controversial than they probably initially planned. These have avoided all of that controversy associated with the other pairs. I think they're kind of a no-brainer when it comes to the comfort and simplicity that this sneaker provides at such a low price point. You can grab a pair of these in a variety of different colors for just $60. I actually originally bought a pair for a video I was making comparing Adidas sneakers to Yeezys, but I was so impressed with this pair of sneakers and how comfortable it was that it's clear why it's one of the most affordable sneakers right now. Even the design is super sleek and minimal that I think pretty much anybody could wear these. Definitely a great option for anybody looking to buy a pair of sneakers and not break the bank. Now, if you've got a slightly bigger budget but want to know what the most comfortable sneakers are, that video's there.